Hello guys. Wow. If you've been watching the last few videos, the past few days of mine, you probably can expect that I have a lot to talk about right now, and I do. I'm gonna try to get through it as concisely as possible. Let's just start with this. Okay. Well, first I'll just slight review just to let you know I've been talking about the blood moon, worm moon, blood worm moon eclipse, connecting it to Revelation 8:11 and Wormwood and Chernobyl, and just I mean I saw a bunch of things. I would just watch these two videos right here, the last two, especially this one with the red moon on it. But yeah, I mean just
They were super connected.
okay, so yeah, this part is super important because this was one of the biggest keys to me, like figuring out everything else. So if it wasn't for like this, I don't know if I would have had any of this information at all. So this part where they're drinking absinthe and Eurotrip, and because of Michelle Trachtenberg and her death. So just keep that in mind. Okay, the green. I was talking about this on March 11th. Yeah, so this is when I posted March 11th. I started working on this on March 10th. That's going to be important too. So I was working on all this stuff on March 10th. I mean before that, but then I started the actual video on the 10th. So, and just read the title. This is going to be really crucial. Blood Worm Moon Eclipse, Wormwood, Revelation 8:11, 13:14, Chernobyl, nuclear. So the 13:14 is because of the dates of the eclipse, which is as you know, it's the 13th and the 14th. Yeah, it's like emphasized everywhere, the 13th and 14th. That's kind of one of the things that I noticed, and then it was called a worm moon. So I knew that Wormwood equals 13:14. So that's when I started looking into this stuff, and I was like, all right, like the 13th and the 14th, let's see, like if anything's gonna happen. And I didn't think anything like really big. I still don't know if anything really big really will happen, but like all the little things piling up are just, it's blowing my mind enough. And I hope nothing really big, really drastic happens. I hope it's just a bunch of little things that are harmless. But this was today. Well, it happened yesterday, and the story started breaking this morning on the 13th. There might be some articles from the 12th. It doesn't really matter, because like when you see all the details, it's so apparent that this was all pointed to, like this was all about today and tomorrow, the 13th and the 14th. So neon green explosion in Manhole, in Texas Tech University. That's also going to be important. But yeah, I mean that's just the first detail, the neon green. That's so perfect right there. That absinthe is made out of wormwood, that's the whole point of that. And then the explosion aspect, because Chernobyl was the nuclear power plant that exploded. And yeah, I showed you. Okay, this part's awesome too, because it's underground, right? Manhole, in a manhole. So thank you, Seven, for teaching me this. Yeah, 8:11 is the number that you call before you dig underground. So just so perfect, underground manhole, like all in one little random thing, and I don't think anyone got hurt, which is great. But just I don't have to stress too much how incredible this is. And Texas, so this led to this, lined up perfectly. Texas Tech campus closure March 13th and 14th. So it happens to lead to the closure on 13th and 14th, and these are the last 2 days of school. So they started spring break early, but like it's even in on the website just perfect. 13, 14, like so perfect. Do I have anything else to say about that? So yeah, I want to talk about Seven. He made he made a video, his own, about the all this stuff, and he's been really big on the number 14 because of the 14th Amendment and slavery. And then Cody made this yesterday that also has to do with the number 14, and this is amazing. You guys need to go check this out. But he talks about the 14 in a different way, but still it's I guess that means that the number 14 is got to be significant if the two people are able to make these connections from completely different angles. But yeah, I want to keep talking about from his perspective, because he was talking about the 14th Amendment and then Dred Scott and slavery. So I thought that was really interesting. He talked about it in this video the day yesterday, so the March 12th, and Texas was again, this was at Texas Tech, and Texas was one of the states that seceded from the Union, right? Like with all that with slavery and all that. So I think that there's relevance to that. I also wanted to mention how Texas is called the Lone Star State, and then with the flag, and that reminds me of the Wormwood star. The star is called Wormwood, right? So Lone Star State. So I'm gonna start bringing up a few synchronicities, and I'm not trying to make this all centered around me, and my perspective towards synchronicities have changed a lot since the past few months. Like, that's another thing that's really interesting. If you have kept up with me even the last few months, I've been really bitter. I've acted really bitter, and you can see that in my videos. And that's really interesting how it was I really wasn't trying to match the verse, Revelation 8:11. I think the synchronicities were getting so strong, and I didn't know how to handle it, and I've started to come to terms with it, and I'm feeling a lot better about it now. So I just think that's an interesting detail to add. But yeah, so I found a lot of really cool things between the people that have taught me, and I just want to share them. So going back to the number 14, so Seven has been talking about it since the beginning of June, maybe before that, but for sure this is when I remember. So these two videos, football and then number 14, Brady, Iran, and Venus, and then 9/11 and the 14 pieces of Osiris. So he talks about Osiris being green and the 14 pieces. Okay, so the way that I saw a connection with something that happened with me at work, which was really interesting. My manager, randomly out of nowhere, I got back from lunch, and then she was like, "Oh, do you want a piece of cake?" Literally, it never happens out of nowhere. And so she gave me a green piece of cake. So the green, I had already noticed the green. Well, actually, I wanted to thank Cody for showing me that story about the green flames. I don't know if I might not have known about it. Maybe I would have, but I still thank you, Cody, for telling me about it. But yeah, and then when I got this green piece of cake, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I remember Seven's video yesterday. He was talking about the 14 And then I remember when he made the video about Osiris cutting up the pieces, and then I was thinking about the cake, you know, cutting the cake, like cutting a slice of cake. So it reminded me of the slices of Osiris. And then I asked, I was like, what flavor is this? Is it green tea? And then they're like, yeah. So this was a green tea cake, and I thought that was really funny because of Wormwood. Like obviously it's not a Wormwood cake, but you know Wormwood is a herbal green tea. So I know it's different, but still like if you guys can see like that connection, I think it's there. I thought it was pretty cool. And it was super random, you know. But what's also really cool about this is, you know, again, yesterday 7 was talking about the 14 and slavery and all that. So today I had a phone pre-interview. Like I told you guys, I'm kind of on the job search again, but I'm still working at my current job, but I'm also looking at the same time. So I had just finished a phone conversation with Obey Clothing Company. Obey Clothing Company. And you guys have heard of them. But yeah, I had a pre-interview, like phone interview with them right before this happened. And so if you think about that, obey, right? Like obey your master, like slavery. So I was like, I'm at the point where like this stuff is just so like it's not really freaky anymore. Like I'm really I'm having a lot more fun with it, you know. That's why I'm back. You know, I took a lot of breaks, and I was posting a lot of like really in a really bitter way, but I'm done with that, and I'm just having fun. So also forgot to say, okay, like I said, I saw this as a little celebratory gift from God for reaching 1K. So I really wanted to thank everybody who has helped make that happen. All the people who have taught me what I know, all the people who've collaborated with me, let me come on their lives, like shared my videos, all the people following me at all, just watch like it's not even a lot, but it's a lot to me. Like it really is, because I've never really accomplished like I've always had a really high respect for YouTube channels. Just that's just how I see them, and I never thought that I would ever like. I always felt like it would be really hard to gain any type of following on YouTube, and I definitely could not have done it just like by myself. So this was thanks to all you guys. So I just, you know, I want to say thanks, and I'm gonna try to keep putting out good stuff for you guys to help spread the knowledge. Like I feel like I really want to do that. So, and just going back to this, I didn't even know this at the time. I wasn't even really like, maybe you guys are aware. Like I said, this was the first Wormwood video I posted in a long time, because like the last, I don't know how many months, but it was all about me and my dad, and John 10:30, I and my Father are one, which, so this was the verse that I feel like what Revelation 8:11 is to 7:1, like really like pioneering that. I think this was my verse here. Like the stuff that I found around it is really undeniable, and I hope that it really catches on more, because it's probably still really new to people. But yeah, so John 10:30, I and my Father are one equals 14:14. So I was talking about that 14:14 a lot, and this video is 14:14 seconds long, or 14 minutes and 14 seconds long. But I mean, just the fact that he was talking about the 14 pieces and then ended up being like that was absolutely perfect. Alright, so again, keep in mind the 14 that 7-1 was talking about, and here in this one, he was talking about football, Tom Brady, Iran, and he was talking about nuclear in this because obviously with, Iran known for the nuclear project, and then football, the nuclear football. Okay, so now we can talk about this. Okay, this has been going on in the news, and I didn't even know. This right here, this interview, this was on the 9th. So you can see, we'll look at it. But he says probably end of the world. I'll show you. We'll check it out here.
Is that all the art of the deal?
He was.
No.
In fact,
No,
this...
what I have said is we spend a lot of money on nuclear missiles, nuclear weapons. The level of destruction is beyond anything you can even imagine. It's just bad that everybody has to spend all this money on something that if it's used, it's probably the end of the world.
Wow. I don't know what to say to that.
You know, when I listen...
Okay, yeah. So this is like recent. This, like I said, this was the 9th. Then I didn't even know about this interview until today. But yeah, then I started working on the Wormwood stuff, pointing to the eclipse, and so somewhere in the interview he talks about Iran, and he's like, I'm gonna write a letter to Iran to negotiate like a nuclear deal, and it's in the news that today. You see, Iran receives a letter. Yeah, Iran's supreme leader receives Trump's letter offering nuclear talks. So the letter arrived to Iran today on the 13th. Yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot more. There's a lot more to look into, but I mean, like, that's crazy. I did not know that this nuclear stuff was going on in the background when I was finding all the other stuff. I haven't been paying attention to politics for the last few weeks, to be honest, but probably should start looking into it again. Like, it's all connecting together. All right, I'm gonna kind of jump topics a little bit, but I'm gonna connect it back to what I was just talking about. But this trailer just came out, the live action for Lilo and Stitch. Okay, and you need to watch this. And I just saw this today. It was funny because my roommate, he was the one who had me watch it, and then I was like, no friggin' way. So just check this out.
His planet is caught in your crosshairs.
Shooting star! I wish for a friend. Like a best friend.
Okay, did you guys see it? I hope you guys see where I'm coming from. Let's watch it again. Like just, it's so perfect, man. Like, where are we at? This Wormwood star. Okay, and when you look up the Wormwood star, like, you get, this is what you get. Okay, so like, I'm not saying that I know this is exactly what's gonna happen. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying this is just kind of out there in the ether. Like, it's just an undeniable, like, representation that, like, most people know about. So the fact that this is just coming out right now, this trailer.
Shooting star! I wish for a friend. Like a best friend.
Okay, so I know that you guys know where I'm getting at. Okay, I don't have to elaborate too much on that. There's a lot that I want to talk about. I'll see what I can do, but for one, alright, so you guys know the phrase from the movie, Ohana means family, right? Boom. Ohana means family. Like, come on. Oh my gosh, like, crazy. I spelled Ohana right? Yep, I did. Like, unreal. So unreal. Alright, and as I'm filming this, the eclipse is happening right now, and I just went outside to look, and it's so sick. It is so cool. So, I think other people are probably going to see it tomorrow, but yeah, I saw it today. I'm seeing it right now, and I think in 30 minutes it's going to be at its max, so that's going to be really, really cool. So, and I also wanted to share this because me and Cody's work has been ridiculously synced up lately on accident. There's some stuff like I don't even know if we're going to be able to share. We've been talking a lot behind the scenes, but like our work just has been synced up so much, and a lot of the things that I've been able to find had a lot to do with his work. So it's even cooler that Ohana equals Cody and Sean. More so Cody, because he has the 3 out of 4. I think I have 2 out of 4, but like these two, yeah, the 2 middle numbers are flipped, but it's like it's awesome, you know. Like I think that's so sick. And both of us have a lot of stuff with our families that tie into all this stuff. Like I've talked a lot about my dad, and then his dad's name is Scott, and 7-1 he made a video about, you know, Scott and the Dred Scott. He's been finding a lot of stuff about that. So both of our families have played a big role in the things that we've been finding, and yeah, this is just really awesome. So one huge way that we've been synced up that we were kind of talking about is there's this like outer space theme or alien theme, whatever, and that ties into Chernobyl too, which I'm gonna get into, which I learned from 7. But like even with Stitch, so Stitch is an alien, and you know, like Cody, he made the decode with it, and Pennywise is an alien and totally connects to this blood moon. Pennywise is an alien. And then in the video that he made about Slipknot, Gematria is a killing name, we found this connection with Paul, the movie. He's a gray, and then Paul's a gray, and then the member from Slipknot, his name was Paul Gray, who died. Yeah, Paul Gray from Slipknot. And then Cody was talking about the Pope, with the connection to the Pope getting sick, and then the Slipknot performing the song the killing Gematria, the killing name. And the Pope, he went to the hospital on the 2/14. So we found out that this movie premiered exactly 14 years before the Pope went to the hospital. That probably sounds confusing if you haven't seen his videos, but you should check it out. But anyways, there's this outer space alien theme. All right, and so think about Project Bluebeam. This is you guys know about the theory that there's gonna be a fake alien invasion, right? But this is gonna connect back to Chernobyl, because when Chernobyl happened, people saw a blue beam shoot straight up into the sky. All right, so like see the resemblance of like the blue beam is shooting upwards, but then you could, I guess, it's almost like if an alien invasion, you know, it's like it has the elements of it. And there's something really interesting too. You guys know I brought up the Pyramid of Giza, this code that I learned from 7.1 and how this connects to 8.11, which I don't have too much time to get into, but please, again, if you haven't, if you don't know it or whatever, you just watch this video. But it is really, it's pretty important to this whole thing. But yeah, I mean, I talked about the Pyramid of Giza, right? So it's super interesting that the Luxor hotel with the pyramid in Las Vegas has a blue beam shooting into the sky, just like Chernobyl, Project Blue Beam, all that. Like, and so I actually I went to Vegas the weekend before Michelle Trachtenberg passed away. So I was there around the 20th, 21st, 22nd. And I stayed here. I'm not gonna show you like all the proof. I can, but like you just gotta take my word for it for now. I literally stayed at this hotel like 3 days before Michelle Trachtenberg passed away, and yeah, like the blue beam is it's so uncanny. So it's so crazy that I was talking about it in the context of Wormwood and with Michelle Trachtenberg and how that all led to where we're at now. So keep this in mind. All right, 3313, and I mentioned right here in this video, I mentioned I learned this from 7.1, and that, keep in mind that's how he pronounces his channel, because it reads 7711. Let me just look it up real quick. So it reads like, it looks like 7711, but I am almost 100% sure it's just pronounced 7.1. So keep that in mind. This is another amazing synchronicity. When you think about who I learned that code from and everything going on today. So we're gonna look at the original Lilo and Stitch. Right, this is the original release date, and we're gonna go to the day that the trailer released. So, sorry, even better. So, when you go from the release of the original Lilo and Stitch to the Blood Moon, so it's a span to the 13th, but then the 14th is so 8307 days. So the prime factorization of 830 like just is insane. Okay, it's 1371. All right, I wrote it here just because it's so much better, but it's 71. You get that? Do you guys see that? Like, I mentioned that I learned that code from the 3313. I learned that from 7.1. I literally say it in the video. I say I learned the 3313 from 7.1. And then the Lilo and Stitch, the original to the Blood Moon, 8307 days, which the prime factorization is 331371. Like that, like that is so crazy. That's so awesome to me. That's so awesome to me. I hope it's awesome to you guys too. Like, especially you, Seven. Like, I mean, I'm sure you guys have, like, people like, you know, the veterans have. I'm sure by now they've experienced like so many crazy things, and I just, just putting that all together, like that whole 3313 thing was why I was able to put all the Michelle Trachtenberg stuff together, and why I was able to put everything together with this Blood Moon and Wormwood and all that. And then I realized that I started watching the trailer just out of nowhere today on the 13th, and it happened to have we can watch it again just to get the full effect.
Crosshairs.
Shooting star! I wish for a friend. Like a best friend.
And so yeah, so I know that this didn't come out on the 13th. I saw it on the 13th, so I guess maybe it's just more of a synchronicity, but still, like, it's still, like, the fact that it came out around this time is just perfect. And again, from the original Lilo and Stitch to the Blood Moon that we've been talking about is this number that happens to be 331371. And what's even crazier is, like, with today and the whole thing happening with the green flames and explosion, all that. So I bring that up right after this part. Okay, so I mean, let me just let it play, and then it'll speak for itself.
But the day was so connected to Wormwood and Revelation 8:11. So before I get into this, I'm going to review something that I learned from 7.1 way back in the day. This code right here, this 3313 code, and what this is.
So yeah, hopefully that's amazing to you guys, because that is amazing to me, absolutely amazing. But let's move on from that. So I mentioned right there, like in that video, how I'm gonna bring up the number 466, because the 466 prime is 3313. So how crazy is it that family is 466? Ohana means family. Like, this is definitely not a coincidence. It's not at all. Yeah, I also forgot to mention that this equals 466. It's a little unsettling, but that's also interesting, because think about the term the nuclear family, right? So yeah, but just the main point is that the 466 prime is 3313, right? Oh yeah, I just decided to look this up, and I found this is I think can't get too into it now, but this is a huge Sirius number. Sirius equals 595 in Greek. We can get into that another time, but there's probably something to this. I just wanted to add that. Also, Cody, if you are watching this, I forgot to bring this up. This is for you too. All right, and this trailer came out the day that you made that video with this one right here. But you can see the 214 right in the thumbnail. Same day. Like, there's gotta be something to that. All right, so again, if you haven't seen this, you should definitely go watch it. All right, so check this out. I stepped outside real quick to look at the eclipse. I saw a freaking shooting star. After posting that about Lilo and Stitch, I kid you not. You cannot make this up. I mean, you can make it up, but I'm telling you the truth. I saw a freaking shooting star while I was looking at the eclipse. I don't even know what to say. And it's cool because some of my neighbors, I got to see it with the telescope, so that was crazy. Yeah, but yeah, I just cannot believe that I saw a shooting star. Yikes. Okay, let's not go there. Okay, so getting back on track. So I talked about 477 in the video too. And 477, I learned this from 7.1. for 77 minutes into the day is 33.13% of a day. So where are we? Alright, Lilo and Stitch equals 477. Like, this thing is so coded, it's insane. It's so insane. You know, and then all this talk about Revelation, right? So Revelation has 404 total verses. Lilo and Stitch takes place in Hawaii, and Hawaii equals 404. So that's pretty interesting too. I meant to mention this earlier, but so this is the release of the new Lilo and Stitch, the remake. So from the Blood Moon to the release to this date is it's a span of 71 days. Again, like 7-1. Like that's you know, like I showed you the other one, you know, from the original movie. So yeah, it's just crazy. All right, this is gonna get even more interesting. Just keep in mind all this Wormwood stuff that I showed with Lilo and Stitch, and I was wondering who the original, like I wanted to look up like who was the voice of Lilo, the original Lilo. Okay, so it turns out to be DeVay Chase. Okay, and the reason why this is interesting is because of the other things that she's been in, especially, and she hasn't been in a lot of movies. She's a pretty mysterious actress. She's pretty low key, but the first thing I'm going to bring up is The Ring. She was the girl in The Ring. So you see where I'm getting at with all this is leading to the Pi Day eclipse, right? I've been more focused on like the Wormwood part. Cody's been focusing on the pi aspect of it. But the ring is a circle. It's pi. All right. So let's try to find her. So this was her. This was DeVay Chase, the voice of Lilo. And how perfect, you know, the ring. The ring. Circle. Pi. Perfect. Alright. Now looking at some of the other things she was in. She was the little sister of Donnie Darko. She was like in the original Donnie Darko. Let's look for it. So yeah, this is a pretty well-known scene, the table scene. So she is this little girl. This is DeVay Chase. This is the voice of Lilo. And okay, so keep this in mind. The song that's playing right as it's ending. Hold on. Whoops, sorry. All right, I'm gonna get back into that in a little bit, but yeah, just keep this in mind. So this
I'm voting for Dukakis.
That's her. That's DeVay Chase. The Ring, Lilo, and there's a sequel to Donnie Darko, which is called S Darko. Okay, SD, Sean Decide, yeah, whatever. But this is about the little sister growing up. It got really bad reviews, but she grows up to play her. So they didn't like replace her with like a different actress. She was the little girl in Donnie Darko, and she grew up and she played the sister again. And she like the movie's pretty much about it's carrying over from Donnie Darko, so it's about her like having a hard time like coping with her brother's death and growing up with all that. And then I haven't seen it yet, but I believe it's like she starts to experience the same stuff. But yeah, like I said, it got bad reviews. But I would still watch. I still want to watch it. But that's so interesting that she grows up to play Samantha Darko in this movie, in the sequel.
So cruelly you kissed me. Your lips a magic world. Your sky all hung with jewels. The killing moon will come too soon. Fate will come. The killing moon will come too soon.
So yeah, check this out. So this is from S. Darko, the sequel. Alright, so you see it again. And this, that the meteorite is actually an aspect of the movie. Let's look for that. Alright, so yeah, just watch this part. You're gonna see it in a second. This is from the movie. Well, this is in the trailer, but it's in the movie, so just see it. So that's in the movie.
Think we're bad people.
Like, you see, and then so we can read here too. It says in this right here, Samantha is still struggling with her brother's death and is sleepwalking. I'll just read it. While wandering, she meets a homeless veteran with PTSD, whom the locals nicknamed Iraq Jack. As the pair sit atop a windmill, she tells them that the world will end soon. Okay, we just heard that from Trump. Oh shit, where do? But he knows this already. The next morning, she wakes up outside and sees that a meteorite has crashed into the windmill. Okay, so that's again like, oh, okay, I didn't read this. Let's just read this real quick. Samantha meets Jeremy, who is showing signs of radiation exposure from the meteorite. Like, what the heck? Okay, I didn't even know about that. So let's just not ponder on it too much. But like, what in the world? I mean, I need to watch this movie. And again, like this, like DeVay Chase, the voice of Lilo, and then the whole thing with Lilo I just showed that came out right with the Moon eclipse, and I was just making all these videos about Wormwood. Like, I know you guys see it. I know you see it. I know you do. Okay, so let's not drag it on too long. Like I said, I'm gonna have to do a full different video on this and her, because her numbers are insane. Her numbers are insane. So again, she was the girl from The Ring. Don't forget that. Circle Pie. Alright. So like I said, I'm gonna need to make a part 2 with the Lilo and Stitch and DeVay Chase and Samantha Darko, all that. But I'm gonna wrap it up by bringing it back to the beginning. So again, with this incident with the green flames, and then how that connected to the what was it? The green, the absinthe, and then 7-1's video. He talks about Matt Damon and Jack Quaid. So Matt Damon, he was in Eurotrip. He sings the song Scotty Doesn't Know. That's Matt Damon, and he's singing Eurotrip right there. And then 7-1 talks about Jack Quaid. Okay, so I had mentioned to him that, oh, and then this whole video right here, this was the one that he posted yesterday. It was about the enemy of the state. and that has to do with what he's been talking about with the 14th Amendment. So I brought up to him that both of those guys are in Oppenheimer. Okay, so we have this nuclear theme again, the obvious nuclear theme. But they're in this movie. So you see Jack Quaid. Let's just go to the whole cast. Jack Quaid, right? And Matt Damon. So they're both in this movie. And this has to do with that theme as well, because in this movie, in the present time of the movie, there it takes, I think it jumps into different timelines. It's hard to figure out what's the present, which one is like the actual present time, but it's about the hearing to revoke his security clearance because of the suspicion of his communist ties with his history and all that, and his loyalty to the United States. So that's what mainly the movie is about. Okay, so like the enemy of the state, like they have suspicion that he is a communist. And when you think about it, like the Red Scare and Red Raiders, right? Red Raiders. That's the team name of Virginia Tech, or sorry, Texas Tech. So it's Texas Tech mascot. So yeah, you see the masked Raider Red. Yeah, Raider Red. So like red communism, raid, like raiding a country, you know, like what they're assuming about Oppenheimer. So it's really interesting, and I feel like when we were looking at Michelle Trachtenberg, and her first movie was Harriet the Spy, and then the last one was Spiral. So and it's spelled Spyral. So I saw there's like some weird spy theme, and so that I feel like there's definitely something to that. And then what Seven's finding with the 14th Amendment and enemy of the state. So we'll have to keep looking at that. But yeah, that's all for now. Just be on the lookout for the follow up with DeVay Chase and just more Wormwood stuff. Oh, let me actually end it with a comment that Casey left. Okay, so Casey, he left this in 7-1's comment section. Starting here, so Tim Curry, so Tim Curry, that was Cody talked about that, he was the original Pennywise. And then he brought up Mary Curry. She discovered radium, the 88th element, with an atomic weight of 226. So again, the second prime, and the 6th prime is 3, 3, and 13, and then radium, like that connects to green. Alright, so radium, green, and let's see, radium element. Yeah, so it has 88 and 226. So that's actually interesting because I didn't think about it earlier, but I was just bringing up Donnie Darko and Samantha Darko, and that's where at least in Donnie Darko, it takes place in 1988, and then 88 days, 6 hours, or 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds until the world ends. All that adds up to 88. And then the 226, that refers to Michelle Trachtenberg, because she died on 226. But it's even like more specific because he mentions that the atomic weight is 226.025. That was the exact date that Michelle Trachtenberg died. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Alright, I think we're gonna end it there. Yeah, okay. Sorry if this is long, but thank you for everyone who stuck around. There's a lot to talk about. Like, it's just I don't know. It's I don't know what to say. It's crazy. I mean, just the thing with the flames in Texas, that whole thing. That was just, I don't even know where the picture is. Yeah, I like just how that transpired, and then it opened up everything else with pretty much everything I shared today, and it's just crazy. I have no words for it, but we're just gonna keep our eyes open for more stuff. But thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you guys for everyone who's helped me get to like 1K. Again, it's not that much, but it's a lot for me. So I'm gonna keep pushing for you guys, and yeah. Take care. See you guys.